Hello everyone. So it is currently July 2nd and the June 2016 recap just came out from OWI. I just went over it really fast and there's some really big updates coming with version 7. And there's a lot of awesome information in this monthly recap. So if you want to read the whole thing, I'll leave it in the comments below. But jumping straight into it, the first thing that I guess a lot of people are going to want to read about are the vehicles update. What's going on with the vehicles? We're supposed to get them next patch. We're getting the Technical, the Humvee, the Urals, and the BTR. And here we have our first actual first-person footage of someone using the Humvee to drive. And as you can see, it looks really smooth. It's not third person. It's first person. There is some free cam within the... As you can see here, he looks left. There's some free cam when you are driving, so you're not locked into a direct front view. You do have the ability to look around, but as you can see, there is a lot of visibility loss because you're inside of a vehicle, and I think that's an amazing... The amount of detail in this shot is just amazing. Moving down, they also talk about how they want the vehicles to be asymmetrical. You know, they want the Humvee, the armored Humvee, to be slower, but maybe more bulkier, and they want the Technical to be faster and more nimble. So that's really interesting to see that we're not going to see completely balanced and even teams and assets. We're going to see different strategies perhaps being used because of the asymmetrical nature of the vehicles. A little eye candy right here is the upgraded radial menu for squad leaders. So basically squad leaders, when they're creating FOBs or putting down things, they'll have this nice new clean looking menu, and it looks amazing. It looks really up to date with how I feel like squad's UI should be, rather than a placeholder that it previously was. And as you can see, even the ammo crate for normal squad members, it looks really clean, and it's got clear indications of like, you can't select this kit, it's unavailable, but of which kits are open. And I think it just looks really nice. Here we can also see that the building menu for squad leaders has changed a bit. You can also see right here that there is a small change in the resources, so perhaps we'll see the first pass of logistical systems with version 7. So really excited to see that, especially because I did have some concerns with the current building meta and fob meta right now. So it's really good to see that we might even be getting a small building point change with the next patch. Moving on to art, another huge kind of art update is the new US soldier models. Now before they were using assets, I think, from a different company or a different group, but now OWI has created their own US Army assets, and it looks really nice. It fits how squad feels. It looks really tactical. It looks pretty it meshes really well, as you can see here. U.S. soldiers don't really look out of place. I felt like they looked out of place before, and maybe even they looked like they were wearing pajamas, but now they look, it looks a lot cleaner, and I'm really happy to see it. Here you can see the support vehicle on Cora, so I'm really excited to see this next patch, and hopefully all this stuff comes with the next patch. It might not, but, you know, here's to hoping. Mortars. So this is the first time they're actually really officially announcing mortars. So this is an old Soviet mortar, so I think that this will probably be for insurgents or the militia side. Maybe even the actual Russian forces. I doubt it, though. I think they'll get more conventional weapons. But I think it'll be really interesting to see mortars being implemented into squad and seeing how they're going to change the gameplay of squad and the pacing, and see all the cool things and all those memorable moments that you're going to have when you have mortars being dropped on you or when you're executing a fire mission. So it's really cool to see that we are getting some indirect fire solutions. The Dishka does look like it's coming in with the version 7 patch, simply because it's on the back of the Technical, and I think they're also planning on replacing the 50 cal for insurgents with the Dishka. So really excited to see another HMG make its way into squad. It looks really clean. The modeling is done really well, and it just, I'm so hyped for all these HMGs, all these assets, the new US models. There's so much good stuff. Even the M10. So I'm really excited to see the US optics come in. As you can see, and you probably know from my channel, I love using the optic weapons. Even if it's pretty cheap, in my opinion, I still think that they're just fun to play with. It says right here that they're working with a 4x ACOG scope, and that they're eventually going to be working on a 10x scope. That's definitely, I feel like, is going to change up the game a bit, especially with having that amount of reach with your weapons is going to change how the game is played slightly. But definitely really cool to see. a marksmanship rifle for the United States being implemented. They also have the PPSH and the SKS rifle done. There's a short video in the update about how they work and how they look, and it looks well done. It looks ready for release, and I would not be surprised if those come in version 7 as well. Apartment blocks update. This is kind of just a showcase. I doubt we're going to get this in the next patch, but you can see here that there's multi-level buildings now. Not just a 2-story building, but really an apartment building that has an interior, a roof, stairs that go from the bottom to the top. So it's going to be really, really fun to see these kind of close quarter battles and these the ability to take up a position in these buildings and see for long distances and control certain areas of the map. Here you can see is one of the complexes with a whole bunch of these condos or a whole bunch of these apartments, and I really can't wait for urban combat and for these urban close quarter environments to really be fleshed out and brought fully into the game. They have also a map update for EVGA, which is one of their new Eastern European maps. I really like this map simply because it's so flat. I really have a thing for these flat maps rather than the really varying in terrain kind of maps like Fool's Road, where we have these huge hills that block off line of sight and create kind of really close engagements because of that. I think I really am waiting for these longer open maps simply because I want longer engagements, and I want engagements that aren't necessarily right up next to each other, but long distance to medium range stuff. So I'm excited for this map. Yeah, looks beautiful. Definitely I think it's missing a couple things. You know, it's being worked on, but definitely one of the maps I think has a lot of potential for squad ops as well. Gorodok getting some updates, some buildings being added, some assets. Looks really good in these photos, like the colors and the lighting. I'm not sure if that was done post-production, but it looks really good in these screenshots. So hopefully this gets pushed out as well with the V7. OWI has been known to make pretty substantial map updates with every version release, so hopefully we see something with Gorodok being changed. It looks like they're also doing a small detail pass on Sumari Bala, so I don't think they're adding more terrain. I think they're just going through the details of inside buildings. I think this is the school on Sumari, so as you can see they're adding like benches and a whiteboard or something, just making it feel more fleshed out and not so much of a placeholder environment. So it's really nice to see these maps getting finalized. Yeah, see like right here in this before picture, it's extremely empty. And all these before pictures are extremely empty, and after now it feels like an actual village rather than a testing environment or even a training environment. So really glad to see them fleshing out Sumari Bala. But that's pretty much this entire update. It's a huge update, and I think it's kind of foreshadowing a lot of stuff to come in version 7, especially you know, the new player models hopefully get in, the Gorodok updates hopefully, the maybe even a weapon or two, the vehicles for sure, huge update. But yeah, a lot of good stuff in this monthly recap, and I'm really glad to see an early access studio really actually working on making these entire packages with every single version update. So good on OWI. I can't wait to see what they bring us in the future. Tons of potential for stuff to work within squad ops. But yeah, looks like a really good update. Can't wait for version 7. 1 month out, and I'll see you then, guys.